All right, so I want to talk about how to not waste money as a business owner on marketing. So, one of the things as a business owner that I kind of struggle with from time to time as I'm laying down, going to bed at night, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, is I know I'm wasting money somewhere and I just don't have time to cut the costs. As business owners, you're trying to wrangle employees, you're trying to develop your product, you're trying to keep customers happy, you're trying to deal with taxes and accounting, you're trying to deal with so many different things that you have no time to cut the costs. And one of the biggest costs that I see business owners really wasting a lot of money on is their marketing. As a fractional CMO, my job is to go into businesses, figure out where they're bleeding in their marketing, scale the things that work, descale the things that don't work, and really create an outline for them for their future and what should be going on in their marketing. And one of the things I see pretty frequently is that they're wasting a lot of money in marketing. And so there's actually a pretty quick way to figure out if you're wasting money in your marketing. You don't have to dig through a whole lot of stuff. All you got to do is hop on a few meetings with your marketers, and it's going to maximum take you a few hours in the year. And so let's just go over how to do that. So any kind of marketer that you've engaged with, whether it's a single person doing one thing like cold email, like I've been doing, or someone who's handling your website, someone who's handling your social media, doing your radio ads, doing your TV ads, doing an ad for your theater, any of that kind of stuff, figure out, you know, who it is, get them all either on the same meeting or meet with them individually and ask them, how much of an ROI am I getting from your services? I gave you this much money, I give you this much money every month. What am I getting in return? And notate that, put it in your notes, send the notes to them, and ask them a follow-up question of what's the timeline of the ROI? Like how long is it going to take for me to get this kind of return on my investment? Some things like SEO, a good SEO campaign should take about a year for most businesses, even longer sometimes. Very rarely will it take less than that for good results. And so some things are going to take a long time, but you need to notate that timeline that marketer gives you and send it to them. Keep you both accountable to the timeline that they give you. And if they got to move that timeline several times and they're incompetent, don't keep paying them money. Maybe switch it. If you really like them, you really think they're going to do a good job eventually, maybe make it to where it's not a loss for you, but it's at least a chance for them to keep going and figure it out. But otherwise, don't keep paying for their services. If somebody tells you, this is a common one that I hear, is that, my service it's not trackable. You can't really know whether it's doing a good job or not. You just got to trust the process and it'll happen. Or my kind of thing that I do, like a website or a billboard, you would notice if it went away, but there's no way to really track if it's actually doing a good job or not. And you can track every single marketing method. If you can't track it, if there's one out there and I'm wrong that you can't track, don't invest in it. That would be like buying a car that you are wanting to drive to work without knowing whether it drives it or not. Some random car on the internet, that's some random guy on the internet that's selling you a marketing method that's not actually going to give you a positive ROI, shouldn't be bought. So if somebody says that you can't track it and you would only notice if you turn it off, just call their bluff. Say, okay, well, let's turn it off for 6 months and see what happens. If I see my sales decrease over an extended period of time, then I'll call you up and we'll redo it. But everything is trackable, even if that's the only method to track it. Don't spend money on stuff that's not actually data drivenly giving you a positive ROI. And don't let any marketer try to fool you into thinking that if you pay them every month, they're going to continue to get you a positive ROI when their track record is that they haven't given you any. So, this is a little bit of a more negative kind of video. I know generally I do a lot on marketing, so the marketers are probably hating me right now because they're kind of in this boat a lot of times. One thing to keep in mind is most marketers today are a product of the paid course revolution, and I blame it on that, where people buy a paid course that's advertised to make them $10,000 a month, and that's what most people want. And so they go and take this course and they know just enough to sell the service, but they don't know jack squat about marketing. They don't know the fundamentals at all. But there's hundreds of thousands of these guys out there that are trying to sell you services that they don't even know how to implement. And so they're generally good people, So you'll trust them for their good nature, but they won't actually know what they're doing. And they shouldn't keep trying to sell you these services, and you shouldn't keep paying for the services if they're not actually working. So I think, it's high time that marketers actually up their game and understand what they're actually doing and give a positive ROI to businesses. But that's only going to happen if the business owners hold their feet to the fire and stop paying them for stuff that doesn't work. So again, it's probably not a video most marketers like, because it's, training business owners on how to deal with marketers, but I'm on both sides of the industry, so I figured I'd drop some advice out there for business owners. Let me know if this was helpful. Drop a comment and a like if you did like it and have any comments to give, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.